are whole from the beginning. We have forgotten it. We're remembering it. And as we remember it, we become cognizant of our feelings, our sensations, our beliefs, and our images in a new way. And that we are a coherent human being. And so, to paraphrase Rumi again, you are coherent from head to toe. Now, what else would you like to know? So, you are a unified being, and in certain quarters, there's an objection to the use as turns in the mind-body paradigm that we're fragmented and so on. And they don't like the term because we're not really. We are self-remembering people who are coming back to that remembrance of who and what we are. So we come into this world not really divided. We come into the world whole. When I do this process, when you do it, you can access it through your thought, your feeling, your image. You start from some starting point, and that leads you to the other four. Let's say you start from an image. It leads you to the conception, leads you to the sensation and the feeling, and interrelationship of physical, mental, if you will. It leads you to the inner-outer connection. So you have a breathing problem. I notice that there's trouble breathing. I ask myself, what is the belief that's connected to this breathing problem? And/or, what is the image associated with this breathing problem? Because the breathing problem is my sensation. The word problem is problematical for us. Usually what's called problem, which needs a solution, can't exist because when you put things in solution, it can't be teased out. If I take ink and put it into water, I put it into solution, and then I say to you, okay, extract the ink back for me. You can't because now it's already absorbed. So you really have a question. I have a question about breathing. Okay, we're being technical now. Be that as it may. What is the image of this breathing difficulty, and what is the conception that's associated with it? What is my misconception and my misperception about this? These are misperceptions and misconceptions. So what's the image connected to that? So you see that image of something that's tightening the chest, like some sort of steel band. And what is the belief that has been distressing you concerning this breathing? You'll be able, through the imagery process that's included in the Phoenix program, the imagery process itself will allow you to remove the constriction, and you'll find breathing begin to open up. You'll still put out your arm, and you'll find that it becomes stronger. It becomes stronger. Now, you can ask yourself, I'm satisfied that I have taken charge of this. So now I'm in charge of this matter. So when and if the breathing issue comes back, I know what to do. And I will do this in a regular way to enhance this breathing. Do I want to make any further self-discovery about myself? Yes or no? No. Finished. Authentic, genuine, meritorious, valid. I don't want to go any further. This is enough for me. No. I know that you might want me to, but we're already getting to overlays on it, distortions of the yes or no. I don't want to. It's enough. Yes, I do. Okay, if you want to engage in further self-discovery, we got the sensation, we got the image, we probably got a feeling because I was feeling constricted, and now I take the band off and I'm feeling expanded. So I got the image, I got the feeling, I got the sensation. That's all inherent in the imagery process in and of itself. So I've taken care of what I would call, for lack of a better term, the symptom. We really understand that symptom not to be a symptom, but a cleansing response that's going on. We're trying to eliminate some toxins that have accumulated in our system. And when we get to the disemergency state, we're going to find out why those toxins have accumulated, which have then shown themselves up as breathing difficulty. Yes, I want to find out more. You want to find out more? Then tell me what the misconception is. What is the conception going on in you, which is our misconception? Ask yourself, life is irritating. So life is irritating. You want to say to me then that life, as it's irritating now, has just begun to be irritating. It really has never really been that way in my life until this current moment. Well, if you're genuine and frank and honest about it, in most of the instances, you're going to say upon reflection, you know, that issue, and I reflect upon it, has really been with me since I'm very young. And it has organized my life in such a way that I try to avoid situations where I'll be irritated. The kind of guys I go out with, I'm going to go out with guys who are not contentious, who don't raise arguments, who are not provoking or prodding. I prefer to meet people who are sort of kind of passive, and they are non-combative, and they're not so actively stimulating. And I'm going to take a job where I won't be irritated. I think I'll work in the back office of some place where I'll be in a cubicle where nobody will bother me. You see how I'm organizing my decisions in life. And when I go to the movies, I'm not going to go to movies in which there's going to have all that kinds of stuff that's going to be that way and it's going to I'm going to go to nice, pleasant, romantic movies, sweet movies, and things like, right? So I'm basing my decisions on this belief that life not only is irritating, was irritating, past talk, and my understanding is that what was is going to be. Because what I experience in my past is going to be what I experience in the future. Because the fundamental misconception, one of the two basic misconceptions, is what I experience will create what I believe. So now let's see that life, not only is life irritating, life will be that way for me. It's always going to be this way. It was, it's always going to be, hold out the arm and we tap it down, it goes down. And in most of the instances, and now change the belief. Because you couldn't tell me that unless you understood the opposite. Life is fun. What's the image? So the image is a clown that's laughing. What's the feeling? Merriment. What's the sensation? What was the first sensation when life was irritating? Heavy. So now here's a new conception, here's a new image, here's a new feeling, and a new sensation. My arm out, strong. We do that, it's up there. And even in some people, it jumps up in the air. Now you're going to do the 1 minute life repair using this new belief system with the new image, the new sensation, the new feeling every morning, every night, 3 seconds each. And during the day, when you find yourself in a situation that irritates you, because it's chronic, because that's the way your life has been organized, because as much as you're trying to avoid the irritating situations, there they are. Because the universe will keep giving it to you until you master it. It'll keep sending it to you and keep putting it in your face because it's going on inside, it's being created outside, it's going on in this loop all the time. The universe wants you to live. And you're not going to live unless you change this situation which is sapping your life force. So, you're going to get in the situation where you're irritated. Then what? Oh, it reminds me, I remember. I'm not forgetting, I remember. I changed forget, I remember now. And the sensation of excitement, and I'm going to stick out my hand, and I say that in the morning, and I hold that image. I say it, see it, feel it, sense it, stick my arm out, and hold the image for 3 seconds. At night, I do exactly the same thing. Sit in the chair, relaxed, say it, see it, feel it, sense it, say it out loud, and hold the arm out 3 seconds. And then during the day, when the irritating situation comes, it reminds me, I remember. And I say it, see it, feel it, sense it, and hold the arm out. And only for a second. People have asked me, do I have to say it out loud? I'm sitting in a movie theater. You know what I mean? I'm sitting with a bunch of people. What do? I would recommend that you utter it out loud. If you're embarrassed about the vocalization, you can whisper it a little bit like this. So you can say it in a very low tone, like that. So it doesn't matter if people think you're mad because you're talking to you, because everybody around you is talking to themselves all the time anyway. So you say it, and if it gets to a point where you can't possibly utter it in a social circumstance, you're left with saying it to yourself. But you say it. But we try to say it out loud, because we're making inside outside. What if an image doesn't come? I've tried, and no image comes. Say it, feel it, sense it. Can I do this process for another person? Yes, absolutely, because we can do healing for others, with others, and for others. It's a healing process you're doing for and with another person, with their permission. Can't do it if they don't give you permission to do it. So you have to explain to the person what you're doing, because they have the freedom to turn it down or accept, and you don't want to get into the position where you feel, which could happen for yourself, that you're controlling another person's life. That's a tricky business. You don't want to take that to that extent, which can become power as control. You don't want to be in the power as control game. That's the domination, subjugation game. You don't want to do that. So you want to get the permission of the other person to judiciously do this with and for them. And so the recommended thing is to do it in the morning and at night.